Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Prestige Encounters Beyond the Dice, a simple pre-session thing that we do every week before our regular game, where we get to have discussions with members of the Prestige Encounters cast and sometimes the Dungeon Master, based on questions that we either ask amongst ourselves or questions that are brought to us by members of the audience. This week, we are joined by the wonderful Dungeon Master, who is Lich Souls / Michael. And then we have Chloe, who is currently playing Emmeline. And myself, Guy, who is playing Sanasha. So
currently playing is are some keywords.
Currently
there.
playing, yeah. So I mean, there is a somewhat possible chance that we will die at the beginning of the session because we are going into combat if you are keeping up. But that's a great moment for us to kind of look at these wonderful questions that we have. So I'm going to actually open up with a question for Chloe. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, this is a question that was posited by a Sanasha previously. Thank you much for your contribution, Sanasha. We really appreciate it. I should stop doing that. It's not funny. So this is kind of an interesting follow-up because we have had this wonderful moment where Emmeline got to go back to her alma mater, her old stomping grounds at the College of Mages in Illyria. And the question was, so Emmeline did attend the Mages College in Illyria. Can you tell us more about what college life was like for her? What was her favorite subject, and what was it like when she left college?
Yeah, this was a very interesting question for me to kind of pause it on and think about. Her life in college itself was pretty exciting for her. I would say that she would definitely be the student that showed up early to talk to the teacher and to figure out what was going to be taught in that class. And she would try to get a seat more towards the front, and she would raise her hand, answer a lot of questions. She was very diligent about that in most of her classes. That was a very good experience for her. Like, she felt super excited to be at this college and learn these things, even if the main thing she wanted to learn wasn't necessarily super in with the college, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, she was into a forbidden art of magic as her chosen choice to study at the time.
Which leads to her favorite subject. Granted, she wasn't able to study any kind of necromancy, and I would say that her favorite subject actually was not any kind of biology or any kind of medicine classes. I would actually say her favorite class was religious history. Learning about before the Tears of Tumas and kind of what happened after, and really getting to dive into that was something that she enjoyed, and it shows in her stats as well.
Okay, that's interesting. And what was it like for her when she did get expelled?
Yes, I believe the question said when she left, and it's definitely important to know that she did not leave on her own terms. It was very embarrassing. It was very shameful. It brought a lot of shame to her family because they had to pull strings to get her in there. But alas, she made do with what she could, and she got a job with the skills that she had with the Sunkeepers.
Yeah.
And worked there until we meet her in the story.
Do you feel her mother pulled strings to get her that job as well?
100%. Yeah. It's definitely a game of who knows who.
Who has the most coin?
And I think if you were to go back and review the drama-filled episodes that contained Emmeline's mother, you would find that maybe she makes a couple digs at Emmeline for this very mistake. So.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's true. All right. And to say that's interesting now because knowing a little bit more about it, because of course she did, as the delightful Willow, talk about how much she loved learning, and was caught in the act, we believe. Though I have a side theory that secretly Willow is actually another wizard who actually got expelled from the school and actually became an acolyte, and you accidentally took on her actual personality, and he was completely tricked. Right?
That would be crazy. Yeah.
Is that right, Michael? That was definitely what happened. That wasn't the bad deception checks and her getting caught. No.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like for those of you listening in, I'm rolling my eyes right now. Yeah, totally what happened.
I'm pretty sure everyone heard you roll your eyes there. There was like a grinding sound. Yeah, a rattle.
I need some like WD-40 in my eyes.
Okay, so I'll give Chloe a little bit of a break from there. And there was a question posed for our dungeon master today as well.
Oh my goodness, for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna say check your ats there, man. And this is a big one. This is one I'm giving you no prep time. So the culmination of the campaign 2 of Prestige Encounters led to the Seekers claiming, albeit briefly, the power of the Flame of Creation, not the Claim of Creation. We're going to absorb this because this is going live. The Flame of Creation, denying all of their adversaries access to that power. And that obviously shaped how we got to be in this particular world. So how would the development of Campaign 3 and the continent that we're in have changed based on if the Seekers hadn't made that choice? They'd let one of the other powers claim the Flame of Creation or kept it with the status quo as it was. Sort of, did you have an alternative reality where we as the heroes didn't make that choice?
I mean, there's always that option. The hardest thing about being a dungeon master is like you can plan. It's actually why I don't plan a lot as it is. You can plan all you want, but there's always a chance that your player is going to throw you a curveball. You can give them the choice. Like, for example, like you could easily be like, no, I don't want to go stop the Lich King from raiding the city where all my loved ones are. I'm just going to walk away and go somewhere else. I'm going to go live in the Astral Sea. And I'm gonna have to be like, okay.
Yeah.
But like, so yeah, that was always a possibility, but there's a number of like fail safes we had to go through first. Like, Zulkifli performed the ritual with the brazier that absorbed Zolna and her light into himself. And then he ended up sacrificing himself because that also ended Zolna. So that was one way that, and then of course you had Kresna also competing for the Flame of Creation. So like, let's say theoretically Zulkifli would have walked away and Zolna would have, gotten the flame and reclaimed her power as the goddess of creation, right?
Yeah.
World would have been remade. We would have done a whole universe reset for campaign 3. That's exactly what would have happened. And basically would have been just starting a new story.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
And you had a lot of, because of the choices we did make, a lot of things failed in the world. Because for that brief moment, magic disappeared, right?
Yeah, for I believe it was 56 years, magic went away. I mean, the floating mountain that is Cielnor, the kingdom in the sky, the islands crashed. Huge land masses. That entire area past the mountain range, past Mysteria, that whole area is just a wasteland now because of the shockwave from the lands. The entire cities on the coastlines away from it also got wiped away from giant waves too. Think about that shockwave and how it traveled across the ocean. I mean, and because the world is full of magic and that sort of thing, and although magic was gone for 56 years, we still had the ability to rebuild civilization quite quickly. I mean, you have Elnira, which basically was built, it's less than 50 years old as a city with its size. And a major reason why the lower levels are so like shack-like or made of just like welded sheets of metal together is because they had to be built quickly,
Yeah, because I imagine the crushing water did a lot of damage to that region. Yeah, so it reshaped the continent that we're in. And as you kind of mentioned, there were magical seals that were broken, creatures were released, ancient threats were suddenly present in the world again, but also the gods weren't present to intervene.
I mean, the gods never really intervene
Yeah.
them directly anyway. They're kind of
Lazy.
fickle like that. Um, yeah, and let's say that Kresna would have gotten the flame of creation. I mean, it would have been a very deity centric world. So there's a lot of ways I could have gone, and I'm happy with how it turned off. I really don't think the party had a choice where everything goes well.
No.
Like nothing was given to you guys that you guys saw visibly where there wasn't some sort of downfall, but overall you saved the most people.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes the best thing that you can do is save the most you can.
So we kind of feel like Zolna's is the worst case scenario for everyone in existence because it's a full reset.
I mean, might be the worst case for the people in the world, but might have been the best case for me if I hated how I started the world.
Did
So
you? Is that where you're letting us know?
No. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like this world how it is.
Yeah, and I suppose Kresna gaining the power would have become an imbalancing effect on the world because the demon princes would be, playing second fiddle to somebody who had the power of creation at her fingertips again.
Yeah, and I mean we say demon princes loosely, right?
Yeah.
Like they're still like a demon prince is still on the same level as Kresna, Nima, all the other deities.
Yeah.
They are just darker reflections of the same coin.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, and it's saying we also seen some gods are new gods, which, we established through the Seekers, some of them becoming gods. In fact, some people became gods in that final scene who didn't expect to claim the Flame of Creation, just to help out.
Everyone who went after Flame became a god. You have Kydro, you have Casimir,
Kydro definitely wanted
it. And you also had Mordecai. They all became gods, right?
Yeah.
And then you have other people who are close enough to the flame where they just got
the after
immortality.
Yeah.
So you have like Astra and Aspen. They're immortal. They don't age. They can still die from mortal wounds, but they do not age. So there's just stuff like that, and I mean we don't always get to explore everything that happened, but that is something that did happen.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting from there. The rest of the questions we have that are posed are kind of group questions, but I'm gonna ask one that I posed.
I mean, yeah, before you go ahead and do
please.
that, I don't know if you've already answered this question. You might have, and if you have, let me know. But I see a question here that asks where Sinasha's Grove is located.
We did answer that last week, and it is actually in the Kingdom of Dorganol. Yeah, you won't have had a chance to see the Q&A because, as the audience will know, because I'm not going to cut this, we release these after the sessions and where things are premiering, but going forward. The Q&A should be released before the upcoming session for everyone to have a chance to listen to it. But really, that was a one where I established that her growth was a mystery, and until later on, it wasn't fully established where that is, because that's the joy of that. If you leave a gap for the dungeon master, they're going to fill it, but maybe not the way you expect. But that's why you leave a gap, because the unexpected is part of the fun.
Yes.
Okay.
I also had from something earlier though. I do want to add it has been said in the campaign that some of the demon princes are just very cunning or ambitious damsels that have climbed the ranks. Contras is only 1,000 years old. It is said that he's only 1,000 years old, as far as granted he's probably immortal now, but he climbed the ranks in the Hells and was given the title of prince by the Queen of the Hells, who we do know.
That's
so
interesting too, because he's also probably at his most powerful he's ever been.
Yeah, and you guys were told that at the fallen star or the setting star, his weakness is there in the city of Mirador as well.
Okay. So yeah, I'll ask this question, and then I'm gonna actually posit it next week because I do like it as a question. I'm gonna open it up with Chloe. Sorry, Michael, this isn't for you.
No, that's fine.
Because it's a player specific. So, and I'll answer this myself. If your character didn't take up the call to adventure, what would their life look like today? So, Emmeline didn't choose to become a powerful wizard, didn't come to another continent, or specifically didn't come to those events that led her to join the Seekers, and she may just be working the Sunkeepers today. I don't know. That's a question for you.
Yes. So based on what I know, Emmeline is a great character to live a very normal life. She's a very she can be very average.
Yeah.
So I imagine that she would continue to work for the Sunkeepers and do her medical examinations until they fire her, because she did get fired. If we remember, she
Yeah.
did receive a paper stating
But
that she was like,
was she fired because of conduct she had while she was a Sunkeeper, or was she fired for her unexpected leave of absence?
that's a great question. It doesn't say. It just says thank you for your years of service, and there's a severance package and a couple other things. But given that, I think after that, she would probably move to a different city, maybe Rebellion, and try to emulate the same exact thing that she did in Elmeria, and get a job with maybe the local government. She's our favorite bootlicker, so I know that she would love to do that. So yeah, that's kind of where I could see her going. What about Sanasha? Where do you think Sanasha would be?
So I think Sanasha, if she hadn't chosen to do what she did that night, which was take some clothing and an axe she was working on with her father and set off and tried to become an adventurer, she probably would have just had to become the thing she didn't want to be. She would have had to become the apprentice smith, and have to try and live a socialite's life on the side. She really wouldn't have any choice but to run away from the life that she was running away from. She still has those skills, but instead of learning how to fight, how to survive, she would have been making fine jewelry and fine crafts and clothing, and yeah.
I can understand maybe why Sanasha wouldn't want to be a socialite, but she talks very fondly about crafting the axe with her father and doing that kind of work. Do you think that could fulfill her?
I think that at that moment in her life, it wasn't enough, because she had visions of being something bigger. But I think eventually she would have probably settled into that, been an awkward place. And she likely wouldn't have been as successful in business, because her father is a very charming, charismatic man. There's no reason he became as wealthy as he was, not being good at sales. And I think she probably would have struggled with that. And, if she was lucky, maybe found a lucky someone to fill the missing gap in her life and maybe help her run the business. She could find somebody who's the right fit.
Maybe her hidden forbidden love.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, she wouldn't have met that person if she hadn't set off for adventure, though.
This is fair. This is true.
She would have found another she somewhere to make her happy, probably. Just a normal, large city, wealthy, famous smith life, I guess. Or she'd be bankrupt.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
After destroying the business.
It's a little worse. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll posit that question to the rest of the cast, just because it's kind of a curious thing of, it really does make you think about that moment of the call to adventure. That moment for Sanasha was setting off on her own. And that moment for Emmeline was her call to adventure, the moment that she found the Seekers on the table and chose to follow them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And well, yes and no. I think that was the technical beginning, but for her, it was very much still a part of her job. I think that once they got through Rubelan and they
Mhm.
kind of really started making progress, that's when she was like committed to the
Yeah.
group
Yeah.
and to the adventure, less so than her job.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just saying, because in the saying, there's certainly a fascinating mystery of what was happening with them, and she went down a path she probably wasn't intending to go, and it's certainly gotten a lot darker. Then, yeah, I think there's a certain feeling with adventures that because you scrape by so many times in these fights and these moments that you're gonna all make it to the end, and it has to be a struggle when you find those people who you think you're gonna be the great heroes with and starting to lose them one by one by one. You know, Emmeline's seen
Yeah,
a lot of people die and a lot of people leave her.
yeah, yeah. And I think that Emmeline has the unique skill set to deal with that, luckily.
Mm-hmm.
Having grown up kind of in the business of death, she understands death. I do think that obviously Valerie's death was really, really hard for her to cope with
Mm-hmm.
just because she felt so much guilt and it was very sudden and it wasn't a natural death and it was
No.
it. So that there was components of that she had to deal with, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think she's handling it a bit better than maybe some of our
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
classmates.
And actually, now you bring up Valerie, I don't think there is a world where Valerie would not have ended up in some form of position where she is. I think that she became the best version of herself by traveling with the Veiled Vanguard. The horrifying thing is I have a suspicion that Valerie would not have been a hero if she hadn't gotten swept up into this grand adventure. Um, she might have
I
been.
don't know. I think she would have gotten opportunities to
Yeah,
refine her character, you know?
yeah. Well, I think it was the defining moment of Valerie where she really started to really want to become the person that she was portraying was when she started to form real connections with people, and the moment she got past the lie of her truth about what she's been keeping from the rest of the party. So like, there's many moments of where Valerie could have turned around and gone back to what she was doing before, gone back to what she was trained to do, what she was set to do. Where she could have been in that moment and chosen to let Emmeline die. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So before we end this tonight, I do
Mhm.
have a question for the two of you.
Yeah.
It's a two-part question.
Okay.
And it's really about two parts. So right now we are facing the governor. We found out
Yeah.
that the governor of the central district
The
of the
governor.
city of Hilnira is
Bad guy.
is wanting to flood the bottom few levels of the city of Hilnira to basically call the population to prevent a famine from happening. Basically,
Mhm.
city has grown so rapidly that there is a huge lack of food.
Mhm.
He has made it clear that that there is a we can
Yeah.
talk to people, we can reach out to other countries for help or for trade.
Yeah.
The help will not come fast enough, right?
Unless
I mean,
his
think about
math is wrong.
Rubelan. Rubelan's like what, 4 a month away by
Yeah.
by
Like
horse.
3
Yeah.
or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 weeks. So, and basically, obviously, the party doesn't like this. We don't like the idea of sacrificing some of the poorest people in order to
Yeah.
save things. Like, and that in itself is a little messed up.
Yeah.
But so, as a player, what do you think about the party options right now? And then, what does your character currently think about the situation that you're in?
You want to go first, Chloe?
Oh boy. Yeah. So Emmeline and I, we're like this. We're tight. We're
Mhm.
two peas in a pod. So for me, I'm thinking to myself, there are other options. Like they should have known. If you are the governor and you inherit like if you inherit something like look at Mom Donnie. That's all I'm gonna say on that. That's it.
Yeah.
Like
It's probably
there
for the
are
best.
options. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what me as a player thinks. Emmeline doesn't know who Mom Donnie is. So for her, she
We're back at
she's thinking
that.
she's thinking like why didn't you eat bugs? Like she's like I love bugs. Bugs are great protein.
Yeah.
We did it like back like in her town when the Tears of Tumes situation happened and people started dying and disease overtook the town. Some families had to resort to eating roaches.
There's
That was the
giant.
business.
There's
Roasting
like
roaches.
there's
Roasting Roach Randy. He made a business out of that.
yeah. There's like giant
Okay.
mountain spiders in the Underdark. I mean, like.
Yeah. So for her, she's thinking this is fixable. She doesn't really know if she wants to fix it because they have other things to do. But they could eat bugs. They could eat fish. They could do other things. Like so for her, she's very like, why?
Yeah.
She doesn't even feel offended, or she's just like, I guess like this is so illogical.
Yeah.
You're a terrible governor.
Yeah. And that's kind of a tough one because like for me, I understand it's a complicated situation and there has to be other solutions. And I question, as Sanasha does, is it possible that he's being manipulated and what the data he has is wrong? You know, is he been led down? Has he been following, the deep state conspiracy theorists? And he thinks that this is the only option. Who knows? I mean, I'm just having fun with it. But like, I live in a world where I've played 3 characters so far, and for sure, Casimir would have considered taking the dam down. Because having those people die quickly instead of suffering over a long period of time, early Casimir probably would have considered. Later Casimir would not have, when he decided to become heroic. Valerie, I mean, depending on which version of Valerie, she wouldn't want to see her city suffer. And she would be going out for ways to try and find solutions. But Sanasha 100% is not going to make another decision where she has to pull the trigger and hurt people again, where she has to she's aware of the potential threat of these people could die and will likely die, but she already did the worst thing possible and doomed an entire city to save a small number of people. And the question is, can she make that decision again? Well, no, because she's the one. The Veiled Vanguard are the ones who hurt those people, who led to those people dying. We were a direct cause of those deaths, and so that'd be the same thing again. Dropping the dam, starting a plague. Those are the same thing. You're making the same horrible decision instead of being able to walk away. Instead of helping people find a solution about guiding them to that. And, there has to be a solution. And if there's not, it's not the responsibility of a small group of people to decide the fate of an entire city.
It's very funny you bring up your past characters.
Yeah.
This would have been a gold mine for Elith.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, an army of the undead? Sure, why not?
And I'll close. I will give the last thought before we close out. But essentially, you have a disaster, a known disaster approaching that could have been prevented if it was taken care of before, like sometime in the past. Like we know the city is growing. We know that we're not investing enough into our infrastructure for food supply.
Yeah.
We know this is happening, but we're ignoring it.
Yeah. And
the people in charge are ignoring it. And now it's here.
Yeah.
And what happens when you put the person who has no empathy and only logic into the decision making?
They start making the worst case scenario decisions, right? I mean, you give the people the opportunity to fix it. There may be a solution that they can come to as a people. I mean, how many people live in Illyria?
Oh, like It's near a million.
Yeah,
I think is what we said.
You have 1 million people working towards a goal, you might actually be able to find a solution. You know,
We also might find a lot of people start to panic and buy up all the toilet paper and stuff. So I mean
Soylent Green's an
if
option.
you told 1 million people like, hey, we're about to run out of food, what do you think is going to happen?
They're gonna eat.
You got 800,000 people raiding stores and hoarding food resources and all this stuff, and like you have riots.
It's why
that's why you got to get a grassroots campaign.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to get your grassroots campaign. You got to encourage them. Kill bugs. It's the new cool hip thing to do.
Hunt giant mountain spiders and eat mountain spider flesh. You know, eat the elderly. But as much as we love discussing these terrible joke things, Silent Green, that is where we're going to have to wrap up today. So thank you both for joining me tonight, and thank you everyone for listening. This was Prestige Encounters Beyond the Dice. We do have one of these Prestige Encounters Beyond the Dice Q&A sessions every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time before we hold our Prestige Encounters session. So if there is a week where we do not have Prestige Encounters, we also won't be having a Q&A. But we do hope that you're able to join us, and we'd love to have some questions provided to us by the audience. If not, we have lots of questions to ask each other, and we hope you enjoy these moments to discuss our characters and lores and sometimes potential futures. So have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.